And I come from a long line of laughers. When I think about my childhood home and all my memories from back then, our home was filled with all kinds of music and lots of laughter. I just remember that from our family. And I like to make other people laugh too. I think that's really fun. And I tend more toward the self-deprecating type of jokes. I mean, it's better to, put myself down than to put anybody else down. That just seems to work better. And let me tell you that self-deprecating jokes, there's an endless supply of material. It never gets old. No matter how old I get, there's just always fresh material. And I tell you all this because in 2020, I had an amazing opportunity at Unity of Dallas to be the guest speaker. And as it turned out, it was the first Sunday of Advent of 2020. And I'm like, I'm praying and gosh, what could I possibly say about Advent that hasn't already been said a million times? And what is it that I have to offer? And it just dropped down to me is that we're in 2020 where nothing is funny and people just need a good laugh. They just need a good laugh. And so that's when this talk, Laughter is the Best Medicine, was born that day in November of 2020. And that was planting seeds for what my journey today. Here we are in 2023, and I spent all last year kind of quitting things. I sang with the Dallas Symphony Chorus for 20 years, resigned my position there. I was the musical director at Unity of Dallas there for 7 years, had a great time doing that. Decided to step down from that without really knowing what I was doing, really. I'm going to quit. And I really was thinking about it, and that same question came back. What is it that I have to offer? And it came back again. Laughter is the best medicine. And so here in 2023, I am continuing that and to this idea that we just all need to have a good laugh. There's some unfunny things out there, and there's ways that we can use to laugh no matter what is going on. And so that laughter is the best medicine was really seeds for my journey here in 2023 of my latest passion. This is my latest passion project to help all of us incorporate more laughter into our everyday lives. We just need to laugh some more. So this is kind of my plan. We're going to watch a little film clip here. It's about a minute long. And let's just consider this my praying for the talk here. If we could take a look at that. I'll have to stand over here. And you know what is so fascinating is that we learn to laugh before we learn to talk. Yes. Laughter shows up in children as early as 15 months old. And the interesting thing is that it shows up in kids that are both deaf and blind. And it also shows up across species. All of the great apes have the ability to laugh. And what's amazing about it is that everybody in the whole world has this mechanism for laughter. And there's thousands of languages in our world. There's tens of thousands of dialects. But when somebody laughs, we all know the meaning of that, and we can all understand it. It is the universal language. It doesn't rely on any language at all. It's just laughter. And it comes to find out that laughter actually has an evolutionary purpose. It's not just for entertainment, but actually laughter was started to be developed 10, 12 billion years ago. Our pre-ancestors utilized laughter that probably came about while they were playing, tickling each other, and the noises that came out were like laughter. And when they were laughing, they knew a couple of things. They knew that they were in a situation of friendship and safety. And it turns out that the evolutionary need for laughter has everything to do with friendship and safety. Because as we started developing, our brains became larger. Our vocal mechanisms became larger. We developed language, more and more complex social structures. And laughter became a critical survival tool, because it is a signifier of friendship. When we're laughing, we're bringing people in. Laughter was a way to survive by bringing the friends in. And so it indicates friendship status. I mean, if you're out on the steppe alone and there's a saber-toothed tiger, your odds of surviving that, might not be that great. But with the community meant safety and friendship. And that's really still true today, that laughter, when we laugh, we bring people in, and laughter has its own way of communicating without words. And did you know that we are 30 times more likely to laugh in a group than we are to them laughing alone? I guess, I laugh alone a lot, but... But anyway, let's check in on what a modern-day expert of laughter has to say, and that would be Mr. John Cleese. He is a great British comedian that's been around for a long time, and he says, laughter connects you with people. It's almost impossible to maintain any kind of distance or social hierarchy when you're just howling with laughter. And that's the truth. It brings us all together. Which brings us to the fake laugh. Okay, everybody has a fake laugh. In fact, fake laughter is weaved into every aspect of what we do together. Like somebody comes up and says, does this dress look good on me? Sure, yes, it does. It looks very nice. And while we were developing laughter to bring people into the community, we developed a fake laughter, and that ability to consciously mimic other people was a way to artificially bring people into the circle. And it serves the same bonding function. It doesn't matter whether it's fake laugh or whether it's spontaneous laughter. It serves the same function. Our bodies don't know the difference. Our consciousness doesn't know the difference really between a fake laugh and real spontaneous laughter. Fake laughing is acoustically different. We can always tell when people are fake laughing. We really can, as opposed to spontaneous laughter. But it still serves that same function, serves the same bonding function. So now we're going to talk about the different kinds of laughter. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the intensity of laughter. And this is where it's the audience participation time of our talk together here. Okay, so intensity of laughter, from the real small, to the big things. I better take a little drink here, because we're gonna start with a chuckle. That's kind of I'm gonna do it, and then I want you guys to do it. Okay. Now, a chuckle is, your mouth is kind of sort of open. It's not really open, and it's kind of a soft laugh. Okay, let's hear it. Okay. Okay, that's what we do when we do. Right. But then, if we're going to up our intensity a little bit, we might have a giggle. And a giggle is kind of light, a little bit silly, nervous, or silly. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. Now if we're going to get a little bit louder, there's always the cackle. The ladies are pretty good at this. You know the cackle. All right, I can't hear you. And then, if we're going to ratchet that intensity up a little bit more, there's always the belly laugh. That's kind of the Santa laugh. That's when we're really going to use our diaphragm. You guys are getting good. Okay, now, be careful, Molly. Okay, all right, here we go. The last one in our intensity of laughter is the howl. Okay, now here we go. Gosh, you guys, and that is fake laughter. In laughter, it turns to real spontaneous laughter, doesn't it? You guys are good laughers. Oh my gosh. Okay, now so let's check in and see what some of our greatest thinkers think about laughing. Here we go. Great thinkers. Mark Twain. Against the assault of laughter, nothing can stand. I mean, if somebody's standing there laughing, the recipient can and will wither away. Lord Byron, always laugh when you can. It's cheap medicine. It is cheap medicine. It's free. It's absolutely free. Jewish parable. As soap is to the body, so laughter is to the soul. We can just let everything out and feel clean. It's almost like crying. When you just feel like you're purified after you've had a good cry. Same thing is true for laughing. Lao Tzu, you wouldn't believe it, as soon as you have made a thought, laugh at it. Lao Tzu, why not? Plato, this goes way, way back. Plato, even the gods love jokes. And then the very last one is the most poignant one of it. Viktor Frankl, who you might remember was a survivor of a Nazi concentration camp, and then lived to write about it and become just a great philosopher. He said, I never would have made it if I could not have laughed. It momentarily lifted me just enough to make it livable. What a tremendous thing to say about laughter in terrible situations. But he found a way to do it. So laughter therapy has been around for a long time. Actually, physicians using and prescribing laughter to help people and help illnesses. Back in the 14th century, there was a surgeon, Henry de Mondeville, who prescribed laughter after surgery. There was no painkillers in the 14th century, and he used laughter like an analgesic, like, here, take an aspirin of laughter. In the 16th century, Martin Luther, he was the great Protestant Reformation, broke off with the Catholic Church. He counseled people, and it is shown that what he said, how he would treat people with depression. Don't isolate. Don't be alone. Go out with your friends and surround yourself with laughter. Then we've got in modern day laughing things in the 1930s was really the first time that we started sending clowns into hospitals. There was a huge polio epidemic. There were a lot of kids in the hospital. And that was the first time we were sending clowns into hospitals to get them to laugh and take their mind away from their situation for a little amount of time. And then a very famous guy, Norman Cousins. He's been gone for a while now, but he had the story. He was a biochemist, and he was really researching the role that human emotions play on illness and healing. And as luck would have it, he became seriously ill with a connective tissue disorder. And so he decided to apply his own knowledge of natural therapy, and he started, intravenously shooting himself with massive doses of vitamin C. But then what he did is he had a laughter regimen where he would do belly laughing, ho, 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 for 10 minutes. And that would give him 2 hours of pain-free living. And he would watch comedies, everything he would do, laugh for 2 hours. Then if the pain came back, 10 minutes of belly laughing, he could go another 2 hours of pain-free living. So it is like an aspirin, it is like an analgesic. And his condition went away slowly, but it did go away through natural means. And then in 1995, Dr. Madan Kataria developed and pioneered laughter yoga, what we're going to talk about today at the workshop. And his idea was that he was a doctor, wrote a couple of different magazines, and was really being down by stress. And he got some friends together. They were going to try to approach this. And after 2 weeks, they ran out of jokes. And I mean, you run out of jokes after a while. So he got up and he went out to the Mumbai Park in India and started a laughter club. Just when it was, hey, you want to laugh with me? And, well, okay, ha 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 ha. Then they got all these people together. And by the end of the week, they had 100 people just standing out in the middle of a park laughing. And he's the founder of laughter yoga. So that is another most recent laughter therapy. And so now we need to get some more laughing done. Don't you agree? Now the next thing about laughter is the respiratory. One of the great things about laughter is we just have a ton of oxygen. We take in a lot of oxygen when we're laughing. And so there's a lot of respiratory patterns for laughing. For example, the snort. You know what that is, right? Your turn. Oh. Okay, yeah. All right. And then, of course, you've got the sputtering burst. All right. Okay, and then we have all kinds of emotions associated with laughter too. Like we've got where I'm just so relieved laughter. And then we've got the apology laughter. Oh. And then we have the laughter of confusion. And then, of course, we can't ever ignore the evil laughter. Okay. Oh, I know you got it in you. Come on now. So funny. And then, of course, the best one is laughing for joy. You're getting this down. I see it. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know, there is an entire branch of medical science devoted to studying how laughter affects the human body. It's called gelotology, and it's named after a Greek god, Gelos, who was the divine personification of laughter. I love that laughter could be divine. I just think that's fantastic. But his best friend was Dionysus, and Dionysus was like the party god. He was the god of wine, he was the god of the festivities, fertility, and all of the theater. He was also the god of the theater. That was his best friend. So this gelotology was pioneered in the late 60s. And since that time, there's thousands and thousands of medical studies pointing out how laughter is good for our body. For example, in the physical realm, when we laugh, it activates neural pathways. It does something to our brain where those little neural pathways take a slightly different route. And it relieves stress. Stress is probably our most pressing societal illness, I would say, in modern day living, because we have stressors. We have work stress, we have, all the things going on in the world, climate, all of those things, those are stress. And stress is a silent killer because it restricts our heart. And laughing releases all of that. It releases stress. It releases endorphins. You know, endorphins are those feel-good chemicals after you run or something like that. It just feels so good. Laughing releases endorphins, serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine. All of these great feel-good chemicals are released when we laugh. It prevents heart disease. It increases blood flow because we're oxygenating every part of our body. And it improves our blood vessels. And from a social, we've already talked about the social benefits of laughing. It brings people in. It makes friends. It creates bonding. It reduces social anxiety, which is something that is, our kids, they talk about social anxiety all the time. Fear, it strengthens relationships. If you are working on a team that does a lot of laughing, that makes teamwork so much more fun. It increases the ability of team members to work together. And it also increases efficiency. If we're working and we really need to focus in on something, laughing and releasing things and getting that oxygen to the brain, it improves efficiency at work. And then, there's no telling what the mental health benefits are to it. When we laugh, there's an immediate mental health boost. Just, okay, things are a little bit, I can laugh at that. It's an immediate mental health changing of perspective. And laughing cultivates resiliency. Sometimes we get so We get so focused in on what we want to do, but laughing creates resiliency, creative thinking, and we recognize incongruities. It helps us recognize absurdities when things are just absurd and not fitting together. Whatever. Right? And from a spiritual perspective, it teaches us non-judgment. When we laugh at something that we've held a judgment, this is bad. I know this is bad. Oh, whatever, I'm going to laugh at it. And it releases the judgment that we place on so many situations in our life. We call things bad all the time. And so laughing releases that and changes our perspective. It does cultivate forgiveness. That's a spiritual quality, forgiveness of all the things that we see out there. Okay, we're ready to see what does the Bible have to say about laughing. And I will say, if you look in your Bible concordance, there's not I don't know that the word laugh is even in there. It might have been in there for a time to cry and a time to laugh. But there is a lot in the Bible about joy. And so let's take a look here and see what some of the things that the Bible say. In Isaiah, with joy you shall draw water from the well of salvation. Isn't that where we can forgive ourselves, we forgive others and be cleaned with joy. Galatians 5:22, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And Romans 14:17, for the kingdom of God is not food and drink, but righteousness with peace and joy in the Spirit. You know, our Creator wanted us to embody joy and embody all of these wonderful qualities. So now we're to the point, this is a self-examination time. As what kind of laugher are you? Okay, and so we get to identify what kind of laugher we are. For example, you might be a ventriloquist laughter. Do you know what that is? All right, you do it. The ventriloquist, no, I guess that's the dummy. Okay, or you might be a silent laugher. Okay, and I know we can all do this in here. Here we go. You guys are great silent laughers. Or you might have a machine gun laugh. Okay, and or you might be a heavy breather. We kind of did this. Are you a heavy breather laugher? Or you might be an upper crust society laughter. Oh. And of course, there's the final one. It's the hand laugher. You know, you got the hand out here. So that's your exercise this week. You got to figure out what kind of laugher you are, and really own it. Really own it. And so, those seeds of laughter is the best medicine from from 2020 led me to the place of laughter, and that ultimately led me to the international the laughter yoga international. And that it just so happened that they were having a class on how to be a certified laughter yoga leader. So I took that, and I'm a certified laughter yoga leader now. And I'm adding all of these pieces to my mission. And we are going to have a workshop after this. It's a laughter yoga workshop, and it's not like traditional yoga. There aren't any asanas. You're not going to be down on the floor stretching or you know, doing any of that. In fact, if you are a mobility impaired person, you can actually sit on a chair and do all of the exercises like that. But we are going to have a laughter yoga workshop after this, and laughter yoga is really fake laughing. It's all fake laughing, but it gets the body breathing. It's an exercise of laughing and yogic breathing, and that gives us the same benefits as except it might even be better, because when we're spontaneous laughing in everyday world, we laugh for about 2 or 3 seconds. But laughter yoga teaches us to sustain our laughter, fake laughing, and what it does is it expels the lungs completely of all the carbon dioxide, and getting all that carbon dioxide out. And then after we do that, the very first thing we do, the body knows what to do. We take a great breath of air after we have expelled all that carbon dioxide out of our lungs. So, and laughter yoga teaches us that we don't need to be listening to jokes or comedy or humor or even really be with anybody else. Laughter yoga teaches that we can develop a laughter practice on our own and reap the same benefits as we would by coming to a laughter yoga class or laughing with our friends or anything like that. So laughter yoga teaches us how to create our own practice. And the great thing about the International Laughter Yoga group is they have started a World Laughter Day. World Laughter. Imagine that, friends. Can you just hear it? Oh, the entire world all laughing for one day. Oh, that just makes my heart melt thinking about that, because Laughter Yoga International, their byline is creating world peace through laughter. And so what I would say is, whereas I'm kind of wrapping up here, to incorporate more laughter into our everyday lives, I think we just got to get to a point where we notice it. Are we in a restaurant and we can hear some people laughing over there? Hear it when it's around. Notice it. Incorporate it. Generate it, perpetuate it, and live it while doing the things that are to be done by us. And so, remember, I'm just going to do this, okay? We can have that last slide. Going to close it out like this. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain. So stop your sighing, be happy again, keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Okay, now we're gonna pick it. Well, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. And when you're laughing, When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain, so stop your sighing. Be happy again, give the darling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please come to the workshop. It's absolutely free, and you will have a great time. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you.